What's up, y'all? My name is Kaz, and I'm the disgruntled worker. Just kidding. Anyway, make sure you check for motherfucking my new project. It's a free download. It's called Lyrical Hip Hop is Dead, and you know where we are right now. We in the legendary BSide Shop in Covina and worldwide. Check us out, BSideShow.net. You know what it is. Now I'm gonna go burn this shit down. Don't worry.
We're live.
BSide Show, man. We all the way live back in here, man. We got the next artist in the building. You guys may have heard of him if you're a fucking hip hop head. Hey, go ahead and introduce yourself, my dude.
You were doing such a good job, though, son.
Oh yeah, Mr.
Yo, what up? Standing at 6'2", 265 pounds, the eighth wonder of the world. The Puerto Rican superhero. Nah, what up, man? Chino XL, lyrics still matter.
Chino XL.
Repping the rebel arms all day.
Hey, and right off of that, man, I wanted to go back. I'm going to go back to when I first knew and all that stuff because I go way back with it. But just right off the top, you said it. Lyrics still matter, man. Could we, real quick in hip-hop, could we just talk about that right there, man? I think it is sort of making a comeback in some areas. People are starting to really realize that lyrics do matter, but can you speak on that, man? Because you got that all day, bro.
Well, I'm from a generation and cut from a cloth, basically, that, could we turn, the music is really distracting me. Keep it
yeah, we'll turn it low.
With all due respect.
You lower that.
Yeah, thanks. I come from an era and cut from a cloth where lyrics are what you had. I'm from New Jersey where, the lyricists are retarded and, it's like our nutrition, you know what I mean? It wasn't just, seriously, dude, that's completely, does he have to do that?
We'll lower it all the way.
Yeah,
we'll drop it down a little more.
Yeah. So, I mean, we would rock in ciphers and all that, and, like, if you were whack, like, you might get fucked up. Like, it was real shit. Like, motherfuckers were nice. You studied your lessons. You knew your math for the day, and when you rhymed nice. And so that's what I thought was the most important. The music part of it is important, but the lyrics are important as per literature. Yeah. Like years from now, because of the internet and things being archived or whatever, they're gonna realize that your most mundane lyricist has more metaphors, similes, and entendres than these people that they make us study, these European people like Shakespeare. Are you out of your mind? Yeah. Your normal MC, just your basic okay, is better with the pen than these European people that they make us study in school. So I always keep that in mind. Like, you're writing something as a time capsule. Like, I'll write something now that really you might not get it till the future. Like that Wordsmith song that I got that's in Yale University and all that. Dude, I wrote that in 2006, right? People are really starting to ask me to do it at shows now in 2017. So I never wrote for what was going on at the time per se. I always wrote thinking in the future 7 generations, like what our native brothers, believe in. And so, yeah, I just cut from the cloth that lyrics are everything. It's everything to me.
Hey, we had this conversation with, cats like Kaz and stuff like that. And it's like, you guys, when you did come out, now, and I want to go back to that first project because that had a real big influence on us over here on this side. But well,
let me say this. The impact that it had on you guys... Yeah. Over on the West Coast, the fact that the impact that it would have had is the impact that it had on me, the love you guys had for me, and that's one of the reasons why I migrated out here. One of my first big collaborations was with Kaz. I'm a cat from Jersey, man. He stars North New Jersey or whatever, but... Oh, what up? Jersey in the house.
Stay in the house, for
Jersey
real.
in the house. That's what's up. All day, 07017. So I went, okay, let me start this. So I went to the Lyricist Lounge and rocked. And the Lyricist Lounge was dope in New York. But when I came to the Good Life on Crenshaw, and I seen Freestyle Fellowship and all the dudes from Project Blowed, I was like, yo, okay, this is why Pharoah Monch and them migrate out here and rock so much, because as per literature, it wasn't about swag and it wasn't about what team or what borough you were from. It was how nice are you with the pen? How are your rhymes? Are your rhymes dope? Are they making the people feel something? You know what I mean? And so I just want to say that I appreciate the love that I have got from the West Coast so much. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, I put a daughter through college, dude, and, really, the West Coast is what has provided me with, resources or whatever. And that's why I've always showed her so much love. Like Jersey, I'm an East Coast human being, but I'm a West Coast artist, my nigga, straight up.
Yeah. Hey, that's dope to hear. You talk about that, and what I was going at is the fact that you guys were like when you came out ahead of your time, and it's up to the people to catch up to that, like really, because this was the thing, and I want to go back here to save you all, man. I was the cat in the hood that used to get all the hip hop cassettes, and I would bump them, and then other cats would like figure what was dope, and they would go. But some of the stuff they would be like, "What is this guy listening to?" But I remember, and one of the biggest critics of all, and he's one of my best friends. It's actually my boy Drakk's brother. My one of my best friends, Fabian. And I remember bumping. I got the Chino XL, and I remember we were listening to it. And this motherfucker, like, he didn't say that much. And he's always one of those overly critical dudes. He didn't say that much. But then the next day, he had the cassette in his car, and he rolled up the pad, and he was bumping that shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you did make that influence on the West Coast like that with the lyrics, man. But I wanted to ask you, at the time when you first got signed, and I know, Rick Rubin, man, big thing. Did you know at the time how big that was, signing with Rick Rubin and all the stuff he's done with rock and everything?
Nigga, I didn't want to be homeless anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, getting signed, it was kind of like I get to move out the graveyard. But no, I did because I grew up wanting to be a mixture of LL Cool J and Cool G rap. Okay. And so since LL Cool J was who got signed and discovered by Rick Rubin, I felt like, okay, this is somebody that will understand my aesthetic. And then I also have always had a rock aesthetic too, and he had all the rock groups like Slayer or whatever. Yeah. And also, I was the first person that he signed from a demo since Public Enemy. So I definitely knew that I did have something. I knew that there was something different about what I was doing, and that if anybody was ever going to be able to understand it and be able to bring it to the masses, it would be him. Like, there was nothing I could say that was outlandish enough for him to not want me to say it.
Well, that's a good thing for all of us hip hop heads, because we would have never heard all that stuff. But and on that note, you brought the rock aspect back, and we're gonna get into the new stuff too. But I remember like Creep, for example, that was like all over, like K-Day, not only K-Day but K-Rock at the time, which was over here, and different rock stations and stuff like that. So you kind of were exposed to a whole nother genre, I guess, of fans. But still hardcore hip hop. How's that been for you?
Well, I just make sure that the bars come first. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what the music is or what the genre is, you write and rewrite and critique yourself. And I'll write 1,000 bars to get to 40 bars that I like. Then from them 40 bars, I might have to trim it down to 16 bars. I will never stop writing. And I'm ambidextrous, so when this right hand gets tired, I write with the left hand. It activates. No, really, it activates the other side of the brain or whatever, so I never run out. God is really good to me in that aspect. But all I wanted, dude, was I wanted a few things. I wanted for like KRS to salute me. I wanted G-Rap to say I was dope. I wanted all the people who I felt like were my A-likes or whatever to love what I did, so I contribute to the culture, you know what I mean, and get my family out the hood. Those were the only two things, man. That was it. I didn't realize that the effect that I would have on Latinos as representing them as a lyricist. I mean, I didn't know all of that stuff till I started moving around the country. And so yeah, and the whole rock thing is, I grew up listening to a whole lot of rock or whatever, and I think that as brown people, who some of our rock doesn't get exposed as much, so people think it's like somebody else's music, and it's not. We invented that just like everything else, just like the light bulbs in this motherfucker, right? They get to express themselves in ways that we don't. We're supposed to talk about what we have, and it's a good day, and I fucked this many bitches, and I sold this. Well, me, I didn't, dude. My life was fucked up, and I was a cutter, and I wanted to fucking kill myself, and I fucking didn't understand this, and I didn't understand that, and it was not a fucking good life for me. So when I started to make my shit, people said it was more like rock than it was that. So I kind of merged the two things together so people would hear me better, and it works for me. It works for me. Oh,
it really does, and obvious, like. I saw you post something, and because we're gonna go into the video right now, we're not done talking, if that's okay with you. But leading into it, you mentioned something about one of your boys that told you like to go kind of aim something towards that rock sound again. And then this new single came out, and that shit like caught like real fast, man. That caught fire, bro. But that was one of your homies that kind of.
Well, my homeboy was saying that it's really true. You evolve or die. Yeah. And what he was saying is, Chi, everybody knows you can rhyme, and we do this and do that. And for a big single for you, it's never gonna be R&B. It's never gonna be go in the club and fucking dance to my anger, nigga. Never. It's never gonna be that, dude. It's not. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna pop bottles, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm from the Rebel Arms, dude. We celebrate revolution, nigga. We don't celebrate. Right. So anyway, he was like, yo, you should get back to the rock roots a little bit and kind of see what happens. And one thing that I'm blessed with is I started in this business so young that I don't fucking care what people think. As long as my bars are there, dude, I'll rock off a polka, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Listen to that shit as acapella as per literature. This is shitting on your favorite MC. I don't give a fuck, right? So, putting that all together, he said, let's try something. And I always liked it, the Under the Bridge by the Chili Peppers or whatever. And then I figured that Rick Rubin produced it, so I might have a shot at getting it cleared. And Chili Peppers liked it and that or whatever. So it's evolve or die, man. Try something different. And, some of my greatest influences, Ice-T, Run DMC. We got a tour coming up with Run DMC. Dope. So all the people that have merged the rock and rap shit together all feel like it's good. And some people, I do care what my peers think. I do care what other great writers think. So, if I got the co-sign of them, I'm like, this is some good shit or whatever, and the people like it too. I did a show. Well, I was supposed to be here before, so we could, the show that I had in a Characters Bar.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the first time I ever did it. Okay. Dude, I can't front. I could not believe, I've never seen a crowd at that bar like that. Never. It was all the way out. It was good, right? They were there. Showed up. Yeah, it was really good. And then when I dropped the Under the Bridge joint or whatever, everybody was singing it with me and shit. I was like, okay.
No, that's that real shit right there.
So with that said, is there any chance of linking up for a full collaboration with Ramaduke?
Well, we are. We are. It's actually going to be my next album, the next Chino XL album. It's called A Bad Day for Sorry. And she's on about 6 of the songs or whatever like that. Oh. So, yeah, but it's I swear, yo, dude, I haven't been this, I don't get excited about much or whatever. I'm super excited because in that, if there's any lyricists in the room or watching it or whatever, watching me or whatever, the whole rock format, you can really get out of your zone. And it's hard for me because I've written some crazy shit. I've written a lot of crazy shit, but this is allowing me to get in a whole nother space, pentameter, writing, just a whole different source part of my brain to use it that even surprises me. I came out the booth the other day and my man was like, yo, that sounds insane, dude. Yeah. I was like, insane like what? He said, nigga, no, you sound like you do not have a handle on yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really good. Thing, no, it's really good. We got to remake a 9-inch Nails Hurt. That is fucking fire, dude. Okay. Fire.
Hey, man. Hey, and this is why I knew when we did finally lock, because, trust me, bro, we're hip-hop and we're working on this shit to try to get cats like Chino XL in this motherfucker, but I knew you were excited with the new project, and I knew that's one of the reasons you actually, because this ain't your favorite shit, dog. You like rocking and getting in the studio, bro, and doing live shit.
I don't really do interviews.
That's what I'm saying, and I already knew that, bro. Hey, trust me, I've even talked to Kiki, like Hennessy Lounge, shout out to the homie.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't do nothing like this, so yes. You were like, Kiki co-signs me. I was like, all right, we'll see.
Yeah. So
I texted him whatever. He's like, nah, he's a solid dude, man. He was like, because Tony G, one of my OGs.
Oh, yeah, and Tony
will be like, well, Chino, I heard you were going to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. You can't do that. Like, what? Why? Just trust me, right? You know what I mean? And it was to the point that if Kiki, his grandmother just passed, rest in peace, he would have been here. He was actually going to come with me, him and Tony G. So you come highly recommended, dude, and that was up. And then the people that went on before me, big shout out, everybody is dope, man. Niggas from Jersey, what the fuck?
Yeah. Hey, and we didn't plan this shit. This just happened,
I know.
We really didn't. This
I know,
just happened.
But it's a trip. But people, listen, this is what's so odd is that people don't even know. A lot of people who know, but everybody, when I came out, I lived in the projects in Kazori in East Orange, right? When I came out, people thought I was from the West Coast. I would walk through my hometown for the people that didn't know me, be like, oh shit, Chino XL, what you doing here? Like, nigga, I live in the project building right there. But on some Jersey shit, I'll tell you some Jersey shit. When my first single first hit, the first person to knock on my door and be like, yo, congratulations, was KG from Naughty by Nature, the first person. Yeah, because you know they're from my hood or whatever.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
Classic shit right there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and we're going to play the video, man. This is the new shit right here. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, you guys need to really check this out because the new stuff's coming, man. This is Under the Bridge right here featuring Ramaduke, BSide. We're back, man. B-side show, man. We got Mr. Chino XL in the building, man.
Oh, he's amazing.
Long time coming.
Isn't he handsome?
Hey, see?
Oh!
Hey, I'm just worried because I heard girls and even dudes were going, yeah. All right, wait. All right, real quick.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is the truth. This is the honest to God truth, dude. Today, I was not gonna come. But then Rabbit was like, there's tacos.
Yes.
See? Hey.
So I called my brother Immortal Technique and I said, what do you think? He was like, son, there's tacos? Save me some. Nah, yeah. I know. I'm a pleasure delayer, so I'm gonna do all of this and then I'll be over there in a minute.
Hey, and shout outs to Tech too, man. We got to introduce him at Rhymefest one year, man, and that crowd was lit to see Tech, man. The whole camp.
That's
you
my
guys
brother,
got a
man.
mean camp,
I
bro.
wasn't there because I was on tour. I had a tour of Ohio.
Oh,
and Tech was like, we never go to Ohio, so make sure you go. We had just did San Luis Obispo the night before, and then that was the last one I could do. But, Tech is my brother, man.
Yeah.
And by the way, the middle passage is Flame. Flame.
Hey, man.
His new album is Flame. Wait till y'all hear it. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
he got a joint with Ed Sheeran that is crazy.
Hey, and you
Crazy.
get the premieres of that shit before we get to
I
hear
get
it
the
too.
premieres in my living room, my nigga. You know what I'm
you know
saying? That's my brother right there. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me ask you on this, man, because you've been into the whole keeping in shape, bodybuilding, and all that, and that's a whole other. Hey,
don't stop making noise. Don't stop making noise.
What
It
do I-
makes me
yeah,
feel
man.
relevant.
Hey, and he didn't tell you the real reason he came on the show is I beat him in arm wrestling, so that's why he came. I'm just kidding.
It happens.
Hey, no, let me ask you. No rematch. Fuck that shit. Hey, here's the thing. It is another form of, kind of therapy to the soul or whatever to get that aggression out. I wanted to ask you if it's one and the same with you as far as writing goes, because I know writing is another form of therapy as well, man. You got to get some of the thoughts out and stuff like that. When you do go to the gym, does it ever coincide or is it two separate adrenaline rushes? Like, do you catch yourself like writing lyrics in the gym while you're pumping iron and shit?
It probably sounds so corny, but there's a lot of times I'm in the gym and I'll think of stuff.
Well, no, I
because
could just
the endorphins are going or whatever, and your brain starts to go and you think of a bunch of shit or whatever. Yeah. But for me, it was just about looking on the outside how I feel on the inside as a kid. Because I was a skinny kid with a big Adam's apple looking like Chris Rock and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just was like, yo, fuck it, I want to feel like I feel. What really happened? I read LL Cool J's book, and he said that when y'all screaming for other niggas?
Oh.
No, it was just a quick whoop.
big. No, it's just XL, not LL. It's just one L. No. No, big shout out to LL. That's how I wanted to be. But when I was reading his book, he talked about how when he was making the Mama Said Knock You Out album, that he just concentrated on getting in shape and the rhymes came just naturally, whatever it was. And so when I was working on I Told You So, my second album, I kind of did that. And then nobody had seen it. And then when we did that Wake Up Show joint where I came out the ice, everybody was like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, nigga, I'll slap your face off your face.
Hey, that's a whole nother level right there, too. And shouts out to James Todd Smith, too, man. Because I was a big fan, too, of LL, right? Rakim, all that shit, Corrupt. There are a few, Chino XL. But, yeah, dog, that aspect right there at the time, too, when you did start to shift this way, the Wake Up Show was so big, bro. And people used to just tune in to hear who was gonna spit, and you were a frequent, you were there, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you never know who was gonna be there, whatever. And I was like, man, if I could tell you the behind the scenes stories, Sway would say shit like, well, tonight we have blah 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 coming, and we really don't like him. So Chi, I need you to. and you know, it's and that's what I do. So yeah, but it was really, I really feel like it went, from there. It went from like a street buzz or whatever, from just the freestyles or whatever, and then the wake up show, Sway and Tech, they put it to the masses because at the time, the beat at the time, you know, you can catch Power 106 and the beat all the way across the border, damn near. You can catch it in TJ and going farther down. So that created a whole nother fan base for me, as per literature, because it didn't matter what song you had or whatever. It's just like, yo, this nigga could rhyme. So then I came out with Creep or whatever, and that was all on MTV, and it was only got to number 2. I couldn't knock Bone Thugs out.
Oh,
I mean, but who could beat Crossroads? That video was crazy, dude. That shit was like $250,000.
Oh yeah.
My little shit about being heartbroken was pretty good though. Number 2, pretty good, man, pretty good.
Hey, and speaking of that, look, we'll go back to the lyrics real quick though. But that's the thing, dog, with the metaphors and stuff, and it wasn't always meant to be an extreme like hurt this guy's feelings specifically. It's just about like you said, the literature and bringing the metaphors to life by any means necessary, man. So
Well, I was in a group before. I was in a group called The Art of Origin. Big shout out to Kerry Chandler. He was the other member. And I just felt like I was, like, damn, son, I'm nice and nobody would listen. So I started bringing the similes and the metaphors closer to your home. So I'm the first person that put entertainers' names and lines and all that. I did that first before anybody did it. And I did it because it was something that you try to find something that was centralized. You got like politics, people are split on that. You got religion, people are split on that. Entertainers, everybody knows what that is. So I wasn't targeting them. I was just using them as an example or whatever it is.
And I know that already, and that's why I'm bringing it up. And this is like, I'm just saying this like as a hip hop head and everything, dog. And I'm not on no Funk Master Flex shit at all. You know what I'm saying? But I remember like when you came out with that line of referencing Pac, and I remember even at the time, and Pac's one of the greatest MCs of all time, saying that. Don't just catch part of this, all right? But I remember even at the time, like he had to say something, but it was just like oh yeah, and fuck you too. But he wasn't gonna do a whole song, bro. And I'm just saying that.
What's crazy is that was really okay. The line could have went 2 different ways.
Yeah.
But the way that I meant it was not the side
it was,
that
it was about bars,
right? And
yeah.
and Wendy Williams blew it up.
Yeah,
and so, but once it went the other way, you got to live with it, whatever. So I live with it, and salute to him. He's one of my favorite artists too, and we got to squash it before he passed. And rest in peace. Every show I always do a rest in peace to him or whatever. And God bless him. And he's a legend. What would the music be without him?
Oh yeah, real talk.
You've lived a lot of hip hop history. Like, how does that feel? I mean, 20 years plus in the game. Pac, Sway, Rick Rubin. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm really blessed, dude. Like when. You get on some shit and somebody want to argue with you, whatever. I mean, my nigga be like, do you know who I've worked with? Like, but no, I'm just blessed, dude, from coming out here and being blessed by Psycho Realm the way I was. They always came to all my shows, and then we did Latino stand-up. That was programmed on the radio. Like, you're riding in the radio in L.A. and hear me and Jack singing a song called Latino Stand-Up in the middle of the day, dude. That was a revolution in music at the time, right? I work with, sometimes when people say Tech, my brother that I work with, King Tech that I work with, or Tech 9 who albums that I'm on. Like, I'm blessed to have worked with some of the greatest producers. Dre, I've worked with Adrian Young, I've worked with Focus, I worked with Stu Bangers, did songs with Vinny Paz. Like, I'm just Sean P, rest in peace. Like, sometimes late at night before I sleep, it'll just hit me like, damn, you've done a lot of shit, But for me, I'm all about evolving and keeping going, and I write every rhyme like it's the first one. And I do every project like it's the one that I'm going to be judged on. So what happens for me that's a great thing is if I have like the first song I did with Immortal Technique, right, Lick Shots, people heard it and was like, yo, son is nice or whatever. You heard this dude, Chino? He's dope. And then it'll take somebody else to be like, that dude is not new. And then you'll come out with the joint that I had with, on Tech 9's album, with me, him, and Crook or whatever. There's a whole nother fan base. Like, have you heard this dude, Chino? He's dope. They'll be like, Chino who? Chino been around for years. So you just be consistent and do the best work you can. But I have done a lot of shit, and it does trip me out. It does trip me out. I'm so blessed and grateful. One time I was talking to the rapper Scarface, one of my greatest people, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, And we were talking about shit or whatever, and he was talking about Reconstructed. He's like, you had to do a double album, huh? I was like, yeah. He's like, you'll never do that shit again. I was like, no. But I was talking about the songs that he has that have gotten me through hard times. And he goes, Chi, I was just lucky. And so sometimes I feel like I'm just lucky. You know, I feel like I was born in, I mean, my talent shows in Jersey were myself. This is, we're competing for $500 prize at Club 88. Myself. Lords of the Underground, rapping in many languages, which y'all know them as the Fugees, Channel Live, the person, Queen Latifah, Whitney Houston had just graduated from school 5 years from then, Naughty by Nature, so Tretch and them, we was battling to try to win the, you know, the prize. I'm running out of, I'm missing Channel Live, Lords of the Underground, Artifacts. These are, I'm talking about, we talking about a 15 block span of slab concrete.
Talented ass motherfucker.
That's what and I'm just mentioning the people who you know. There's niggas that never came out that are nicer than the niggas that came out. There's a dude named Mike C who is always just had bad breaks or whatever, was locked up or whatever. This motherfucker was nice. Another dude, Raggedy Man. It was so many nice motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying. That I just feel lucky to come when I came. Yeah, I feel lucky and just blessed. I mean, like my mother gets to say, you know, I was at your show and that real tall, light-skinned guy's nice. Who? Jack? Yeah, I like Jack. She's like, then some other guy came up to me. He has glasses and dreads, and he came up to me and he said, you know, your son, it really raps great. And when I was a kid, he said a rhyme. You couldn't be a star if you got thrown by Chinese ninjas. And it made me want to do this and that. I was like, are you talking about Lupe Fiasco? She's like, yeah, Lupe Fiasco. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm
crazy.
Dude, I'm really, really blessed, man. You have no idea. Like, when I stand on stage and I say thank you, you have no idea where that's coming from. It's not your normal, like, thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah. My shit is like, thank you. I have no idea where I would have been if it wasn't for this.
Hey, you don't, and thank you, dog, for the music that you do have out there and what's coming next. We can't wait to hear. But the one I'm, you know, not all the way up on, and that I'm gonna go back and catch up on. But you did you mentioned Artifacts, Tame One. Yeah, you guys had that group. You guys did a group project, right?
No. The First 48.
There you go.
Yeah, we only did some songs. We haven't finished them.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a complete album or not. I want to go back and hear it because Tame is nice, bro.
No, Tame is on the show, bro. Tame is super nice. It's almost like, you know, some motherfuckers is too easy for. Like me and Raz go back to like, nigga, you got $1 for a Jumbo Jack? I got you. Okay. Like, I mean, no, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, yeah, not the cheese. Yo, and listen, and in the neighborhood, you might get some pussy if you could afford the cheesecake. Don't get it fucked up. The shit was real as fuck. So I'm driving down to Carson in the traffic every day or whatever, and damn, I forgot my train of thought.
Razkaz. You were mentioning Razkaz and people that.
Yeah. So I like sometimes me and Raz will be in the studio and working on shit, and I'll just be like, nigga, this shit is too easy for you, huh? And he's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, or rhyme with people that on any given day could be is just as good as they want or whatever. Like, I'm just privileged to be part of this culture, and also happy that my last name is a Val and I'm a Latino motherfucker, son. I get to,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, dog.
I want to go back to that because I feel like us Latinos, we have so much appreciation for the culture, but I don't know if we don't get the opportunity. You have so many talented lyricists yourself that spit real bars, but I feel like we're not out in the mainstream as much. Like, do we not get the opportunity to be out there, or we're not smart about who we associate with, who we network with? Like, I feel like no one has really broken down that door.
I'm gonna keep it a fucking 1,000 with you. We get slept on, yo.
Yes.
We get slept on and we don't get put in the same light as everybody else for whatever reason I don't understand. Like, I'm like, okay, if it's our vote, they need to become the president. If salsa has been consistently outselling ketchup for 30 fucking years, right? What does this tell you? That y'all only want to fuck with us when y'all want the numbers, but what about the real people involved? Dude, we don't get the same look. It infuriates me when they leave Big Pun out of history. Infuriates me, dude. Like, I want to throw a fucking chair through the fucking TV, except for I bought that shit. But yeah, that shit pisses. How could you not mention Big Pun with the fucking greats? How can he not be on? In 2 albums, he showed you all of this shit, dude. This motherfucker was flawless. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think that we get a fair look. I don't think that we do. Like, I remember when I first got well, first of all, let me let you know I'm half African American. My mother is black. My dad is Puerto Rican, right? Yep, from the waist. That's right. That's right. Puerto Rican from the waist up. Black from the waist down. Yeah. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. Test me. Test me.
Hey, if you guys, this is why it was
no
close
disrespect,
set.
no disrespect. But no, we, honestly, in all seriousness, though, we don't get a fair shake, dude, and I really feel that. I mean, Joel Ortiz is nastier than half of the motherfuckers on earth. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I don't know. It's an odd thing. It's an odd thing. But what I do like is this. Well, in the late '90s or whatever. Remember when we had the Pocos Pero Locos or whatever?
Yeah, shout out to Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I remember a lot of so-called Latin rappers wanted to rap. I mean, they used to come out and be like, yo, Chi, with you, whatever, and I'm gonna keep it real. I felt a little funny about it because I felt like our genres was different.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Kool-Aid one time about this, and she goes, Chino, they're Latino like you. She said, listen to them and what their story is, and don't listen to the skill set. Listen to their story, and then make the decisions. Once I listened to the stories and I realized the sense of, first of all, the sense of culture, the sense of this is our shit. As an African American, we've lost a lot of our shit and had to recreate it. Mexicans have not lost their shit. They don't want the newest Lexus that comes out like we do. They want the fucking bomb that they seen their uncle fucking making. It's like, you're gonna have this when you get older. So I respected that so much. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna bless you with my skill set and let me learn your culture and let's work. So that's why I did shows and songs with Little Rob. I start fucking with Baby Bash. That's my nigga. Like, you name it. I've done shit with Down, Lean Like a Cholo. Like, it didn't matter to me. And maybe it's almost like a reverse racism where I don't hold them to a certain lyrical standard. I do other things. But like I said, I just don't feel like we get the shake, man, as a sangre. We don't get the same thing. Like, why is Psycho Realm not on Lollapalooza? Why is Psycho Realm not on fucking Coachella? It doesn't make any sense. And the only thing I could... Yeah, it just trips me out. And that's one thing that linking up with Immortal Technique has done, because we get to go to smaller towns like El Paso and show them that there's people where they're represented. So yeah, I don't give a fuck who don't like it. We do not get the fair shake. We don't. We don't get it in acting. We don't get it in any form. We don't get it in any form of culture. We don't. So, keep pushing it. What I was gonna say is though, am I running out of time talking too much?
No, wait, hey dog, we'll stay here all night, dog. We got Chino XL in the building.
Thank you.
They already know.
Thank you. Because I'm not going to be doing any more interviews, so let them use this one.
And we're going to rub that in the other people's faces that we're sitting here with Chino
That's
for.
But what I have noticed is like, what I have noticed with the younger Latino artists that would be from like a Chicano, dude, them motherfuckers are bringing boom back.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you hear like King Lil G shit or whatever. That shit is like the beats are fucking, the rhymes are like, you're like, okay. If you know we let him rock with me and Technique when we did the show.
I didn't know that one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Tech was like, who is this? And I had met him when he was a younger guy. I met him through Kiki.
I was gonna say that's where we originally got him on the show, and then he got real,
Yeah, and when I talked to him, he's like, yo, when I was at the studio, you didn't know who I was, and you talked to me, you took pictures with me and all of that, and I appreciate that or whatever. And Tech was like, what you think? I was like, yo, let's let him rock. And fucking his fan base was with the flags, and I was like, oh, look at my little man. But it's crazy because I think, okay, so we're going through this shit with the mumble rappers and all this bullshit, right? Yeah. And this trap music and all of this shit, right? And I don't think as a culture you guys can connect with it. So hip hop isn't that to y'all as a culture. Hip hop is what we were doing in the 90s. So if you notice, like, you get the newest like Chicano artists are on some rap shit, dude.
Yeah.
They're on some rap shit. So I think we're in a good place on the West Coast out here. We're in a good place, man.
I believe the same thing, and I've talked about this before because we do get to see a lot of different venues and talk to different people, and I see it. The shows are getting back to being diverse again, where there's different types of artists. There's actually females going out to the shows again because there was a while when it wasn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was still going to the shows, but I kept looking around like where all the. But no, it's getting back to that though, and
I
it's
hate
a good
that
thing.
sword fight shit, dude. I get to a show and it's all. I get to a show and it's all dudes. I'm like, yo, I don't know if I rap to all dudes in the '90s. Like, I don't like this, but luckily we have ladies that come to the show.
Now it's time to get some ladies back in the building like we do right now. Hey, ladies, make noise. Hey, we have some here.
Hey, you know what? This is something interesting. My man said to me one time, he goes, "Are there a lot of female lyricist fans?" I said, "Nigga, well, whose paper did you cheat off in school?" Yeah. It wasn't a guy, dude. It was a girl, right? Okay, so that's why my fans are a lot of females, because they can read and they care about it as per literature. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy when you even see like these and even younger females, bro, because they've been exposed by an uncle, a brother, or whatever, but they be knowing all the lyrics, dog. Like your shit, Tribe Called Quest, and I trip out because they're young, dog, but they've been exposed to this, dog. So hey, this is what we're gonna do. We'll play a quick video. We'll come back, man, and the interview off, man. Chino XL's in the fucking building. It's the B-Side Show. Act like you know. Man. Yep. Chino XL in the building, man. It's been a dope conversation, man. Straight out on some hip hop shit, man. Hey, and going forward with that, man, we talked about stuff coming up, that type of stuff, man. But what's up with the new project, bro? Like, I want to hear what you got in the works, man. What you got going on, and how soon are the people gonna hear some new stuff from Chino?
Well, the Bad Day for Sorry the Rock project, I'm hoping to have it out by July,
or
at least be able to announce what the official date is going to be and drop like another video or whatever. As far as everything else, I have so much going on that I kind of like don't even know where to begin. But like just a standard like your hip hop album, I'm working on one of those at the same time or whatever. And it's just a lot, man. I feel like I'm in another phase of my career again, you know what I mean? Because like one thing I never did was I never made videos. I never did. I made like Creep and then nothing really, whatever, some wake up show shit. And then in the last year I did like, those cypher videos. I did like 2 of those. I did the shit with Chris Rivers.
And you have that one with DMT, the MC.
Oh yeah, that one that's out now. That and then my own shit, the Under the Bridge shit. So for me, that's a whole new medium for me I know it's like, I just never liked making videos, dude, for whatever reason. I don't know.
It's just, it's one of them things now, too. I guess, like, especially now, it's like people want to see what goes along with the music, too.
Yeah, well, what I notice is when people, when people hear it is one thing, but when they see you doing the rhymes, it's a different connection. Like, oh, okay, like, you know what I mean? It's different to see it. Like, it can sound amazing. Like, okay, you can hear a person juggling chainsaws, but when you see the nigga juggling chainsaws, you're like, oh, shit. Yeah, so it's that kind of thing.
He's really juggling them motherfuckers. Yeah. Hey, then, one more thing I wanted to get into, man. I know we got tacos to eat and stuff like that. Hey, but I wanted to ask, any more acting on the horizon, man? You've done a few things, a few big things, bro, but any more things on the acting side? G?
Yeah, I got something cooking right now that actually that I have to take care of tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's pretty big, dude. It's pretty big. Okay. It's pretty big. I mean, I got, I had the hair and everything. It was only a certain amount of things. Like, will you cut your hair? Like, nigga, no, I will not. Like, well, you can't play an astronaut. Well, I won't be an astronaut, nigga. Fuck you. Like, I'll cut my shit when I'm ready to cut my shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So now it's different, it's more open to me being able to play different shit or whatever. And now that I, changed my shit or whatever, so we'll see. Yo, you know what? Casualty, you are crazy. Casualty that's my girl though. Casualty. And dude, we did. Hold up, we did a Psycho de Mayo in TJ last year, right? Yo, all I gotta say is Casualty was out of control, dude. Yeah. Look at her. No, I wasn't. Nigga, you out of controlling Covina. You know what I mean? Fucking. But anyway, big up. That's my girl right there. Strong shout out.
The homies right here, man.
What's the name of your new shit you got out?
I got Ain't No Time for That featuring Easto.
What? Did y'all hear that? Do y'all play that?
Ain't no time for that.
Do y'all play that?
Do we have that or yet?
I got a new collab with Resical.
Okay, then do we have that already loaded? We'll play it right now.
I bet you if we're like, well, why don't you spit it right now? I should probably come out here like, we're not doing that. But anyway, shout out. Make sure y'all support her shit. Good people or whatever, and definitely, you know, super supporter of the whole psycho realm shit. I'm not gonna say how she's connected to them because I don't know if people know that, but she's very much.
Hey, but on that note, I was gonna bring it up because Jack, you know, is one of the homies of the show as well, and you know, I just got to host Psycho de Mayo, bro, and I was pumped up as fuck, dog. I felt like I literally. I know they would have caught me because I'm pretty skinny, but I was going to stage dive off that motherfucker for real. Hey, but anyways, on that note, what I was going to say is kind of, Jack mentioned the same thing. All of a sudden at this time, like, the music and the people responding to the music like really picked up all of a sudden. Yeah. This dude's got like what 3 projects in a run, and like he was saying the same thing you're saying right now. It's like it's your next step right now, and it's big right now. People are waiting for it, bro.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of renaissance to it too. I think people are judging the music without prejudice and really listen to the music as it should be. And we make a high standard of music. I mean, you listen to Jack's new album, whatever, every song is cared for. The mixes are amazing. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So, you know, if people find out, and then, you know, we're also those artists that people actually buy the hard copies too. Yeah. Like if you have like a Psycho Realm CD, or you have a Chino XL, you have an Immortal Technique CD, you have to have them all. I bought like 5 reconstructions too to give y'all or whatever.
Oh, so hell yeah. That's even better news.
But I will not sign it till after I get my tacos, son.
Hey.
It's not.
Lonnie has the power right now.
It's just, you gotta, listen, you gotta use your power when you can.
Lonnie's got the power right now. Hey, I want to thank you, bro, on behalf of hip hop. Our show as well, though. Thank you for coming through and speaking to us about what it is, man, with hip hop, because we're really about this shit. As you can see, our whole place is, you know, done that way.
It looks great. And big shout out to you, man, and I really appreciate it from my heart. Thank you. And
thank you.
The fact that you highlight people that are passionate about their music and you don't discriminate and ask how many records they sold before they fucking come in here. You know what I'm saying? That's that bullshit, dude. Because everybody started somewhere. Everybody started somewhere.
Hey, and one more thing before we go into the video and have some fun. I did want to say this. On top of all that and him coming by the show, the dude is actually like checked out the show to make sure we're legit. Like he knows what we're doing here. So I appreciate you for that, dog. For you know doing your research as far as us as a show, dog. I appreciate
you guys got a quality branding, man. Keep going, man. Keep going.
Thank you, my brother. Chino XL in the fucking building, man. It's the BSide Show. Me and Stace Fresh, we're going to sign out so we could eat tacos. That's DJ ADM ONE in the mix, going to play some shit right now. Let's get it.
Try to mute it. B-side.